I have awesome news to tell you. I just saw, like a while ago, while I was in New Jersey, I saw Ant-Man. Now you guys already know about it, and you may be surprised. It's produced by Kevin Feige, as really any of the Marvel films. Directed by Peyton Reed, the script written by Edgar Wright, Joe Cornish, Adam McKay, and Paul Rudd. It's also from a story written by Wright and Cornish. It stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Corey Stoll, Bobby Cannavale, Michael Pena, T.I. Harris, like Tip Harris, Anthony Mackie, Wood Harris, Judy Greer, David Dastmalchian, Compolo, and Michael Douglas. And it's a Marvel film based on the hero Ant-Man, created by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, I believe, and Jack Kirby. And what is this film about? This film is about this guy named Hank Pym. There's a scientist called Hank Pym who in the 80s developed this technology that could allow him to shrink to the size of insects and still remain molecularly stable, I believe. It wouldn't turn you to goop. I'll get to that later. And unfortunately, there were some issues involving how they would use his research and how they would use it involving war. I'm gonna get into it more. Oh wait. Okay, they find out that Pym Industries like S.H.I.E.L.D. itself is trying to replicate the technology, but he finds it to be dangerous and he's hiding it, and thus he resigns from S.H.I.E.L.D. But here's the thing about it. The company, Pym Industries, is trying to replicate the formula that Hank made. And while in the midst of that, Scott Lang is a convict who had just been released from prison and is trying to live a normal life. But he decides to do a heist, which leads to him stealing. Now there are a couple spoilers here, which leads to him stealing the Ant-Man suit. And while trying to return it, he gets captured by the police. Pym finds out about it and he meets with him. He actually was surveilling him because the suit had surveillance system, I think. And he finds out about his unique power. Finds out about how he can the chemistry behind it, how he was able to create the suit, his history with it, and about being the Ant-Man, and also how he can communicate with insects. Now of course he relies on, and of course he hires Scott. He wants to train him to be the new Ant-Man, to help sneak into Pym Industries and steal the Yellow Jacket suit, and destroy all the research. And actually later on his team comes to help him. Now, when I heard about this film, I was actually pretty excited because Edgar Wright was directing it. Now I've only seen 2 films of his, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Both get a 5 out of 5. Now, when I heard about this film, I was excited because I'm thinking, oh, Edgar Wright, this would be awesome. And when he left as director, I was really pissed off. And when I heard over the creative differences between him, Edgar Wright wanted to make it to be a true standalone film, not really tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And about, I think, a month before filming, they hired a new director, Peyton Reed, who didn't really have much critical success before it, and he didn't really seem to have much experience with big budget, effects-driven blockbusters. However, after seeing this film, he seems that he can do it. He really proved to me that he could do it. I was so surprised with this film, guys. I was really satisfied, for the most part. Now, my biggest thing about this movie is it is the funniest and most daring film since Guardians of the Galaxy. I know Guardians of the Galaxy had a weak villain in Ronin, but that overshadowed by the awesomeness of that movie. But I have to say that even with a few issues, it is a very good installment into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and while I didn't think it was as strong of an ending as Phase 2, actually it wasn't too bad. It just wasn't as grand as Age of Ultron. That one was a little smaller in scale, because this one's basically a heist film with some superhero elements to it, and I think it did it pretty well. My favorite thing about this movie is probably the effects and how they the way involving the shrinking process and when the character Ant-Man is small. I mean, it just makes the smallest things seem grander in comparison. Even the biggest things even seem even more epic in scale. And I like that idea. And also, the way they do the special effects, there's more focus on the camera on the character of on Scott. And even sometimes like Yellowjacket whenever he shrinks. I'll get into that later. And he does offer up some pretty, and there's some, and they actually blur out the backgrounds. It's pretty creative, and it really focuses like on, it kind of makes it really seem grander in comparison. And the ants, they put more focus on them, more detail into them, and it does work. And I like that idea. This film has some of the best visual effects work ever done by Marvel. It's creative. I mean, they did some ideas like, not only involving like how they can make, involving like, you know, with Ant-Man, you know, making him small and, you know, the other bigger backgrounds and all that stuff, and also like the way they detailed some worlds. And there's even one involving a quantum realm. There are a couple spoilers here, guys. I warned you about it. I'm not getting too big about it, but I did reveal some plot details, but hopefully that you'll go to this with an open mind. And it worked perfect, and it did well. And I have to say, great effects work. Seriously, especially involving the quantum realm, that was done with such incredible detail. Also, this film is very inventive and pretty clever at times, involving like ideas, involving like, you know, the ideas of the suit, the dangers of it, the dangers of tampering with it, the technology, like how fragile it is, or how like the danger it possesses if it's ever damaged, or if someone ever fears to tamper with it. But also, I do like some of the ideas. My favorite. The action sequences are very inventive and creative. Some of them, while they are small from our point of view, like, you know, we're bigger, they are smaller, they feel big. And one thing I have to say about Peyton Reed that he does well is he makes those action scenes seem a lot bigger than they actually are. But also, it just works well. There's even humor fit into this movie. There are several scenes where I was just busting out laughing a lot. This is the funniest film since Guardians of the Galaxy. Is it the funniest? I don't think so. I think Guardians is a whole lot funnier. There's a lot of humor coming out of it. They always throw humor in there. Sometimes some of the comedic timing almost kind of reminds me of stuff I've seen in other comedy films. Especially if you have like that zaniness of Paul Rudd and Adam McKay involved on the script. That was kind of cool. While it did have some bumps here and there involving tone, I still thought it worked well. It was actually funny. There were some very comedic scenes. And also, the team that Scott works with, they get into throwaway characters, but they all have great personalities to them. Especially Michael Pena. He was the best part. He was the funniest guy. Some of the humor may be a little awkward at times, but still, so funny. I was laughing a lot. I had so much fun with this movie. There's so much entertainment value and thrills. And seriously, it was really incredible what they did. Peyton really surprised me as a director, especially the action. The action sequences are very well done. I love like how creative and how small they are. How it makes them seem grander than they actually are. But also, it is very inventive. I just like, also I like the cast. Paul Rudd has a lot of charm and brings his charisma to the board, and I like that. He's a lot more subtle compared to the stuff you may have seen in films like, you know, like Anchorman, Anchorman 2, maybe you're forgetting Sarah Marshall. I mean, he still has that comedy guy, but he also feels a lot more serious. He actually really surprised me. Not only did he get fit for the role, he does manage to possess it. He's likable, he's funny, but also, he's just so entertaining. Michael Douglas was also just by my favorite one. He was awesome. He had great comedy, he had great comedic timing, but also I love the chemistry between him and Paul Rudd. They served a great dynamic. But also, I thought he was awesome. He showed some pretty cool dramatic scenes, and he was just awesome. Evangeline Lilly is also very good in this movie. I think she was absolutely great. She made me... You know, she was just cool. I mean, she's sometimes just funny, but also she's a cool female character. And you know, you don't get a lot of those anymore. Yeah, woman, piece of shit. Why do you make those women suck? Why are you so misogynistic, assholes? Edge of Tomorrow was really fun. Come on, Rita Pataski, come on. Now, she was pretty cool. But also, there was even a few surprises here and there that I really enjoyed. Hoping the stupid cold will go away. Yeah. Now, one thing I have to say is that it is also just really fun. There's a lot of laughs, there's a lot of entertainment value. There's even a few surprises. I'm not going to spoil any of them. Now, I did say Anthony Mackie, if you know who that role is, then yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to spoil it, not spoil like his place in the movie. Just I'll probably know that, oh yeah, he's in there. What does he do in the movie? Go see and watch for yourself. Now, a lot of people I know what I heard are protesting this because Edgar Wright's not directing. Knock it off. I know you want Edgar Wright to direct it. I did too. But this film is good. And I think from what I heard, they actually used some of his test footage. And that's pretty cool. They actually were utilizing some of his work. I mean, come on. Really, people who are just, doing this crap, shut up and quit doing that and go see the film, then decide for yourself. Yeah, you might just protest it anyway after seeing that. It's not Edgar Wright's vision. Forget Peyton Reed. Don't see this movie. Just see the movie first and shut up. Now, even though this is a very good film, there are some issues. My number one issue is the villain. The film tries to feel like he almost feels like he has a big presence, and I thought he was cool as the Yellow Jacket whenever he was on screen, but there are some issues with that. The biggest problem I have with this film is he doesn't have much of a personality. He just felt he was just kind of cool as Yellow Jacket, and Corey Stoll gave a good performance, but he wasn't that much of a presence. He didn't really stand out to me as a villain. He was not very that strong. Also, there are times where there are some tone, even like in the beginning, like the first 15-20 minutes I think of the film, there is a bit of a tone, there are some bizarre tone shifts that don't work, and after a while the movie did pick up from that and maintain its tone better. Sure, there are times where I felt like it had some cliche timing and tone shifts, but still I thought it worked better because it was a lot more smoother and a lot more structured. And I also have to say that there are some things that are conventional, very convenient, like certain plot elements. Like you may know about his daughter in the trailer. You may know where that's going. And yeah, I thought it was handled well for the most part. I just thought, yeah, it is a little conventional. But those are kind of like more, some of them feel like, that one actually felt more like a nitpick rather than a criticism for this film. And actually the first 15-20 minutes, that almost felt more like a nitpick after a while once the movie picked up its pace and maintained the tone better. Really maintained that structure. But let me tell you about this. There also is some emotional scenes, and I also did root for the character at times. And one thing that's interesting is, like, even if the team was bad at first, they're actually good guys. I like that. Also, the action sequences are awesome. Whenever he's fighting Yellow Jacket, that's when it just gets cool. I really thought this film I could have loved this film, but no. I didn't exactly love it. I thought it was really good. Don't get me wrong. But it's really, I think it could have been much better if they gave the villain much of a personality. I mean, Loki has an awesome personality. Why can't you do that? I mean, I know they're trying to do it. I mean, the villain does have a big of a presence, and he is cool as Yellow Jacket, like I've already said. But he just doesn't really seem to really stand out to me. He just felt like, oh, he's not that strong a villain. He's not very compelling in terms of character. He doesn't have too much of a personality. He felt a little stereotypical or very generic. Though, not as generic as some. What am I kidding? It is fun though. There are some very funny moments. There were times where it was absolutely funny. And yeah. It is a lot smaller in scale, and yet it still manages to thrill on that scale. While it may not be my favorite Marvel film, and while it's not my favorite Marvel film that was daring, meaning that, Guardians of the Galaxy I thought was better, I still had so much fun with this movie. It is a film that I highly recommend you watch, and while I do feel sad that Edgar Wright we're not going to get to see Edgar Wright's vision, this one I think is still fine, and I really do recommend it. It's fun, it may surprise you a bit, who knows? I just really recommend it. Ant-Man gets a 4.5 out of 5. While I thought the villain could have been much better, but other than that, in the first 15-20 minutes, there were some tone shifts that didn't work for me. But as a whole though, this movie was tons of fun. It was so entertaining. It's one of my favorite films of the year so far. It's not as good as, Age of Ultron, because, Age of Ultron's a lot bigger in scale. I mean, come on, how could you beat that? But this is still a really good Marvel film, and I highly recommend you check it out. Anyways, guys, my review for Ant-Man. Comment below what you think about it. Are you sad that Edgar Wright was not directing it? Are there some things? Are you going to see it? Are you going to protest it? Are you going to see it, then protest it? Because I find that to be a better reason. Or maybe you may see it, but you may not protest it. You may change your mind. Who knows? Are you going to see it, or are you going to not? Comment below and subscribe to my channel for more videos.